Hello and welcome to Create Love Arts. My name is Sharon and today we are going to work on something called corner to corner. Corner to corner is a method or a technique. Instead of making a chain and crocheting from the bottom to the top and adding length, on corner to corner you literally start in the corner and then you work at a diagonal. This technique is really cool because it works up pretty quickly once you get the hang of it. It is a lot of turning and kind of remembering, but it's also kind of easy to figure out where you are because you can count it this way by each nodule or this way as you go. So these are really nice for graphghans or pixel art, where you can use a physical graph and graph out letters or numbers or a photo or pictures, images of any kind. And if you can make it fit on a graph and have it look right, then it'll fit on one of these. You just change colors as you go, which I'll show you another time. I'm going to do a different video for that. But we're just going to learn the technique of how to do this, they're building blocks, really. So the building block of how to do it. You're going to see that this one has a bit of spacing in between. Usually I don't do this, but the way you learn this is to chain 6, and that gives you a bigger gap here. When you're doing the double crochets, you can alternatively chain 5, but I am going to teach it the way I learned it, which is to chain 6. So without further ado, we're going to get going on this. But one of the things I did want to show you is right here is where I started my decrease. I'm going to teach you how to decrease after, but we're going to learn how to increase in this video. And we're literally going to start down here and work our way up this way from the corner to the corner. Okay, so I'm going to use a different yarn for this. This is a 4-weight. And I'm using an eye hook, which is also a 5.5 millimeter. And the first thing you want to do is create a slip knot, however you prefer to do that. And pop your hook in. You're going to chain 6 to begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You're going to double crochet in the 4th chain from your hook. You can either work in the front of these chains, or I prefer to work in the back loop. I don't know why I feel like it has a cleaner edge to it. It probably doesn't, but I feel like it does. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that 4th chain is where I'm going to start and place my very first double crochet. And yarn over into the next stitch to make the next double crochet. You're going to yarn over and pull through. You'll have 1, 2, 3 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops left, yarn over and pull through both of those loops. Okay, and then I have 1 chain left here to work into. At the end of this part, you should have a chain 3 right here, a chain 3 that will count as we go along, and 1, 2, 3 double crochets. Okay, so that's it. Our first nodule is done. Now, here's the trick with this, and this is where people get confused, but don't let it confuse you. Look at it as a graph or a square. This is one square. Anytime we crochet, we're going to turn our work. So we're going to turn our work. Make sure that you're turning it. You don't turn it like this and begin, okay? You need to work into these loops when you begin eventually. So we're going to turn our work this way, just like we would anything else, okay? As we get going, it will be harder to see. Just remember, your hook sits like this. You're turning it away from your hook, okay? Now, once you've turned, you're going to increase here. We are doing the building block portion. So this is the one we just made, and that's row 1. Row 2 will have 1, 2 nodules on it, 1, 2. So in order to increase from here, you chain 6 again to increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Make sure you're not dropping this too far. Turn your work in the same way, the 4th chain from the hook, you're going to put a double crochet. You can also count back 3, 1, 2, 3 from here. It depends on however you want to do it. I tend to count back because I see that's the first one, second, and third, and that's the one I want to go into. And we're basically making a replica of what we did on that first row. 1, 2, 2, and 3. It's going to go where that's connected there. And 3. Okay. So there's our second nodule, but we're not done with row 2 yet because we need 2 on this row to make it a true 2. Here's where it gets a little tricky. That chain 3 that you made provided a space to work in. We're going to pop our hook into that space. Okay, that's why I said don't drop this. Pop your hook in there and just slip stitch right to it. Pull through and through. All right. Now we're gonna make another one of these in here, but we're not going to chain 6 because we're not increasing here. We've already done the increase here. So we're just going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That makes this part. And then in the hole, you're going to create 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. All right. So now row 2 is done. We've got row 1 and row 2. We know it's row 1 because there's only 1, and row 2 has 2. And no matter which direction you count this in, you will know what row you're on based upon how many of these little squares you have. So I have 1 here and 2 here. As we go, it will form this. Okay? So from here, you're going to turn your work. Now again, you want to work towards the top of these. So it sits like this. That's where you worked into. You're just going to turn it away from your hook, just like that. Now from here, you're going to chain 6 again because we're increasing to 3 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Count back 4 or back up from the bottom 3. 1, 2, 3, and make your first double crochet. And then there's the second one into the bump. And the third one. It's all slip stitches and double crochets and chains. That's it. Now we're on row 3. So we're going to take into that chain space there. You created a 3 chain. You're going to slip stitch right into that. We have 1 square now. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And double crochet 3 times into that space. 1, 2, and 3. And then again, we need 3. 1, 2. We're going to go into this chain space here. Slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and double crochet 3 times right into that space. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we're on row 3 already. It builds very, very quickly. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Now again, we are still increasing, so we're going to turn our work right here, like it's away from you now. Chain 6. And you do the same thing over and over again. 3, 4, 5, 6. Double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. And all the way down 2, 3 times. There's 2. And there's 3. And this is the technique, folks. So now we have our 3 here. Okay. You're going to slip stitch into that first one. Chain space. You're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We've already done the increase. That's the other part. The increase is only at the end when you turn. The rest is all the same thing. So every time you have a chain 3 space here, you're going to work another square into it by doing a chain 3 and 3 double crochets. Okay, so now you slip stitch into this one. We're just working our way over. 1, 2, 3, and 3 doubles. 1, 2, the yarn's catching, and 3. Okay, and then there's our last one. We want to go right into that and slip stitch to it, chain 3, and double crochet 3 times into that same space. 2 and 3. And just like that, we're already on row 4. Okay, so there's, see, as you turn it, you can see the corner to corner part. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, here's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's real easy to figure out where you're at in this one, and that's the best part, I think. But from this point, you're just going to turn your work again. I'll do it one more time, and then I'm going to stop this video before it gets too lengthy, and then I'll release the decrease video to show you how to turn this corner here and how to square it off when you're done, or when you need to square it off. The other good thing about this is you can make a square or a rectangle with this by increasing or decreasing on whichever side you want short, you decrease on, and the side that you want longer, you increase on until you're ready to turn it. And once you do, you can see I've done the decrease here. As I go, it's just, instead of getting bigger, I'm going to go backwards. So the next row, this is 5. If I decrease on both sides again, that'll be 4. And you can even see 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where I'll be working. All right, so one last time on this, you're going to chain, after you finish that 4th row, 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to turn your work away from the hook, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I always find it easy to hold the chain as I'm going. Yarn over and do 3 double crochets in the, starting at the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, and 1 in the next, that's 2, and 1 in the last, that's 3. Okay, pull some yarn here. Okay, now here's our increase row. We're going to start now by slip stitching into that first space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then work 3 double crochets right into that hole there, the space between the chain 3 and the double crochet from that row. The biggest problem with this is where you might find issues is turning and remembering to increase, and also make sure that you put 3 double crochets in there. I have made that mistake just recently, actually, when I was making the other sample. Slip stitch to the next, chain 3, and double crochet 3 times into that space. 2 and 3. And then you're just, it's like climbing a ladder. Then you're going right up, and your hook kind of falls right into where it needs to go to. Slip stitch it, chain 3, 3 doubles, 2, 3, and then we're on our last connection. You slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and double crochet 3, 2, and 3. Oops, I must have hit the camera. Sorry about that. Okay, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the right amount, so I know I've increased. And again, these are the increases here. When you count, you can count it from this side too, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you'll see that 1 goes up and down, 1 turns. 1 goes up and down, 1 turns. And then there you're on the up and down again. So that's the process. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment for me, and I will do my very, very best to help. If you need me to, if you need to slow down the video, you can do that. YouTube has fantastic features where you can slow it down or pause until you catch up. And just, you know, if you have any troubles, let me know. But otherwise, this is a really cool technique, and I will pop on another video here tomorrow with the decrease, and that way we can you know, make a full project. And I am going to do a project. It's just a simple to show you how to change colors and to make a graph design. It's just my design of CLA, but it'll work. Create Love Arts. It'll show you how to go about making something that has a design on it, and how to change those colors, and how to carry them or drop them. And, you know, it'll be a little bit more technical, so it might be a little longer. But once you know how to do this part, you're halfway there. So thank you so much for joining me. I would really appreciate if you would like, subscribe, and do all the things. You can follow me on Facebook or on Threads. I'm also on Instagram. And I will see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.